Hello, my friends on YouTube. Today is the 12th of June 2022, and today's video is Become a Muslim, you will be safe. That was hadith, and I'm going to put the link in the description box. That practically the story is Prophet of Islam or the founder of Islam sent a letter to the Roman Caesar telling him to become a Muslim and you will be safe. And if you know the Arabic language, it's actually become a Muslim and obey us, nobody will be hurt. That's practically what it means. You will not get hurt. So in a way, it's a threat. It's an indirect threat, but also it's like offering something. So you will get your reward double. That's what it says in the hadith. That means you have a strong army, we have a strong army, we go more looting the rest of Europe together, and we divide the looting together, so you get your reward double. Then we go to Asia, conquer China and India, and you get some of the looting. We do business together. That's what it means, really. I'm doing this video because in India, unfortunately, there's a terrible situation, and I really disagree with the Indian government and how the Indian government is handling this situation and putting pressure on the lady who was asking a legitimate question. Did Muhammad marry Aisha when she was 6 years old and consummated his marriage with her when she was 9 years old? That's a legitimate question, and I have to refer back in about 5 years ago, 2018, something like that. There was an Islamic scholar in Egypt. His name is Islam al-Bahiri, and you could tell that this man is ashamed of what's in the Islamic books, the stories that are recorded in the Islamic books. So he decided, I'm going to investigate that subject because it's so shameful. A 54 years old man have full sexual intercourse with a 9 years old. It's just hard for me really to imagine a man in that age together with a 9 years old. It's just, anyway, that's what's there. So there is certain feeling of shame on both sides, on the side of the person who wants to justify, like Islam Bihari, and those who are standing up calling for public apology. If I tell you this morning I ate a piece of toast with butter and some honey on it, do I feel ashamed of that? Would my kids be ashamed of that if people say, would that be an accusation if people tell me, oh, you ate bread and butter and some honey for breakfast? Yeah, and I'm drinking some coffee too. Is that wrong? No, I don't need to be ashamed of that. My kids don't have to be ashamed of that. My subscriber on YouTube, I don't think they will be ashamed of that. So We have Islam Bahiri. He felt ashamed of that, and he's a Muslim scholar. So what he did is he found a big circle. He went few times around the circle, and he came with the idea, no, Aisha was not 9 years old when the founder of Islam married her. She was 18. And he was 54, that's true. And the difference is only 36 years. So it's okay. You know, if I were in these people's position, like in Al Azhar, uh, the faculty that says what's right, what's wrong in Islam, I should have held on to this explanation, say, yeah, you know what? Yeah, we made a mistake. I guess there is some unclear understanding about this, but yeah, because 18 years old, it sounds more. A girl can marry at the age of 18. There's nothing wrong with that. And even if the man is way older, she is not violated in a way. This is the age of marriage. That's okay. Yet, they stood up all the religious institute in the Islamic world. They put him in jail. They imprisoned him. He went to prison. That means they believe totally in the story that she was 9. She was 6 when he married her. Okay, when they got engaged, and she was 9, and he was 54 when he consummated the marriage with her. Okay, when an Indian woman or a Japanese woman or Korean woman or Chinese woman ask the question, why do you get upset? Isn't that what's in your books? Isn't that what you are saying what happened? Why do you get upset? So, if we make her 18, you don't like it. If we say what's in the books, you don't like it. Something wrong. Something wrong. So, that Islam Bahiri, he was put in prison 2015. This was not the only thing that it was wrong. The situation with her when she was about 17 years old or so, the same woman accused with Safwan bin al-Mu'attal. What happened? Muhammad, he went to one of his battles. He was opening another place, and they did what they did. And on the way back of the looting, he gave her a necklace. I don't know if it was pearl or gemstone. It is the looting from rich merchant. Probably it belonged to a wife of a wealthy merchant. He gave it to her. That was given to her. He didn't go to the market in Damascus and bought it for her. No, it was of the looting. I'm sorry. Nothing suggests that he bought anything. Okay? And then on the way back, she lagged behind with a young man. Now, if he was 54 when she was 9, when she became 17, he was over 60. And her hormone at this time is changing, young girl. And this guy is at the end of his, even though they say he had the strength of 30 men, it would have shown, I'm sorry. Stop lying. Over 60 is over 60. Okay? So, she's young. She's energetic. He's at the end of his rope. He's done. So she lags behind a young guy, handsome, huh? That's written. I can put you the link. She stayed with this guy overnight in the desert by themselves. What were they playing poker? Were they drinking Turkish coffee? What were they doing? A young man and a young woman. And in the morning, she goes and he asks her, "Where were you?" "Oh, I lost my necklace, the one you gave me, the looting. And it's an expensive one, that's gemstone and stuff. So I was looking for it, and the guy was helping me. And then we got lost. It's dark. We couldn't find the caravan. We stayed in the desert, and he was looking after me. It took him 1 month, and everybody was telling him she had done with this guy in the desert what you think she had done. Divorce her, including his nephew, Ali, one of his first followers. Divorce her. Divorce her. He waited for 1 month. Why? He wanted to make sure that she was not pregnant with this guy. This is in the books. I'm not saying something that I invented. And this Indian lady, unfortunately, she capitulated to the pressure. And the pressure is not coming from these gangsters who are promising this and that. Unfortunately, this capitulation is coming from the Indian government. And this is very wrong. And I'll tell you why this is very wrong. In the beginning, the fight, it was with the sword. They used to call it, it's called invasion. Like, for example, we say America invaded Iraq. That means the American forces left the continent of America. They went to Iraq to invade Iraq. Or Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait. He left his place of living and his troops, and they went to Kuwait. Now they say, because they feel ashamed again of the word, because the word, it suggests that you looted, you destroyed nations. It until the World War One, it was the invasion of Egypt, the invasion of North Africa, the Islamic invasion of North Africa, the invasion of Spain, the invasion of Israel. They invaded Israel and they built next to the Wailing Wall in Israel, Al-Aqsa Mosque. And they made sure that it's higher because probably they used the same stone that it was used for the temple, and they built that mosque. And they made sure, because Islam has to be set high and nothing should rise above any Islamic symbol. So instead of invasion, now they say opening. In the past, they used to invade by sword, and they used to succeed. However, when that letter that it was sent to the Roman Caesar, follow Islam, nobody will get hurt, it seems to be he didn't pay attention to these people and dismiss the subject. But what we learn is the intimidation, the intimidative words. Become a Muslim, you will not be hurt, and we'll give you something. We'll some money. Capitulate. Now you cannot do this capitulation with the sword or even with machine guns or even with tanks. Why? The technology is not in their hands. You can see now that Saudi Arabia, if it needs weapons, normally it, they buy from the United States, from Europe, from elsewhere. Bahrain, Qatar, all of them, they buy from the countries that they have technology. Iran is exception. Yes, they make their own, most of their stuff they make. However, if Iran knows very well that they can subjugate and destroy Israel per se, if they know they have better technology than Israel, they wouldn't wait. They will destroy Israel. That's their hope. They will destroy Israel. Okay, so now they resort to actually, they cannot do it by the sword or by force, so they resort to that intimidative tactic. And one of these intimidative tactic, Muhammad, he has one hadith. I'm going to put the description of this hadith in the description box. He said, I was made victorious. I'm going, the translation, because in the English translation, whoever translated is not honest. And I took that sentence, I put it to Google to translate, and it says made triumphant by terror. They don't tell you in the translation of this hadith it's terror. They use other mild words. But actually, I know Arabic very well, and it says, I was made victorious. Like people used to tremble 1 month before, when they hear that he is on his way to their country or to their town. 1 month they would be in horror because he was made victorious by terror, intimidation. That type of intimidation is used now to intimidate India, to intimidate the United States, to intimidate Europe. If you do anything, it will be a war. You will pay. Bloodshed coming. Be aware of our terrorism. Practically, they were issuing threats to intimidate India and any other country that tries to walk in that way, in this path. And unfortunately, I don't know why India gave in to that. Because you have so many people working in Saudi Arabia or Qatar or in the Gulf region. India, I don't know why is this India is practically a beautiful fertile soil land. Now, Ukraine was the breadbasket, was the region that supplied the whole world. Or most of the, I think 60% of the wheat comes from Ukraine. Why India doesn't step up now and produce 70-80% of the wheat of the world and sell it? And if Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Bahrain, all these countries that they issued public threat, it's a public threat to India, India can say, you know what, get lost. We'll not give you wheat. Let's see how are you going to eat. India has the land and the capability to produce that much wheat. And it's needed now. It's needed. If they threaten by oil, you threaten by cutting the wheat. This is the only card they have now. The oil. We will not sell you oil. Okay, we will not sell you wheat. You play this game? Okay. So practically now, this is the game that the Muslim Brotherhood, let's call them the Muslim Brotherhood. When you add brother, you get away with so many things. The Muslim Brotherhood are resorting to intimidation. You capitulate once, you will capitulate again and again and again. And you could say they won. I'm very sorry that the Indian government exerted intimidation to this lady to apologize without any reservation. And I'm sorry that this lady went away with that. She could have stood up and made her mark on history and say, you know what? I will not. I was asking a legitimate question, and that is in your books. Plain and simple. Answer the question. What is so insulting in this? I'm reading what you have, and I need some explanation. And if you act like this, it means you're ashamed. Why are you ashamed? If it's correct and right to do such thing. But they cannot answer. So shut your mouth. Don't open the subject because it's so sensitive. So embarrassing. Embarrassing. I hope India can help this lady. Thank you very much. We hope to hear from you.